Ah, there you are. The blueprint they mocked, the formula they now worship. They laughed first. Remember that. Every idea you had, every move you made, they clowned it. Every time you spoke vision, they heard nonsense. You were the joke at their tables, the name they used to bond over mockery. But what they didn't understand was this. While they were laughing, you were building. While they were mocking, you were mastering. Every insult became a brick. Every smirk became a line of code. And while they were too busy trying to sound smart, you were too busy becoming inevitable. They saw you as naive. They mistook silence for weakness, humility for uncertainty. But deep down, you knew the timing wasn't wrong. It was divine. Because legends don't need applause to start. They start in the shadows, where laughter echoes loudest. You didn't need validation, you needed precision. And the joke, the joke, was that you were never competing with them. You were designing their future. Now look at them, the same ones who dismissed you. They're taking notes, studying your rhythm, copying your slang, repackaging your essence and pretending it was their discovery. They call it inspiration. You call it memory, because you remember every single word they said when you were small, when your ideas were crazy. Funny how crazy becomes genius when it works. You see, there's a special kind of silence that follows after mockery. It's called realization, and that's the stage they're in now. Realizing you weren't weird, you were early. Realizing the blueprint they laughed at is now the manual for their survival. They're living in a world you imagined, breathing air you purified with your vision, and they'll never admit it. But every move they make carries your fingerprint. You didn't need to fight back. Your results did that for you. You didn't need revenge. Evolution handled that on your behalf, because the truth is poetic. They laughed to feel taller, but you grew so much that now they can't even reach the floor you stand on. They try to imitate your formula, but they can't touch the source. You were the source. You still are. And the best part, you never even tried to prove them wrong. You let time do the talking. You let success become your accent. You let peace become your threat. Because power doesn't argue, it demonstrates. And now, they're left pretending they always believed. But deep down, you know who saw and who laughed. You remember, because every empire starts as a misunderstood idea. Every blueprint starts as a sketch nobody believes in. And when the world finally catches up, they call it innovation. But you call it Tuesday. You remember those nights when the laughter echoed louder than your name. They thought they buried you under embarrassment, but all they really did was give you silence. And in silence, you became surgical. Every mockery became an equation. Every insult a pattern. You studied the rhythm of rejection until it started sounding like music. That's the thing about the underestimated. They evolve in stealth. They never noticed how your eyes changed, how your patience turned into precision. You stopped arguing because you realized truth doesn't need a microphone. You stopped proving because proof was already in motion. And when you stopped explaining, that's when the tables began to tilt. Slowly, quietly, without ceremony. The energy shifted. See, the same people who said you were doing too much are now trying to mimic your aesthetic. The same ones who told you to be realistic are quoting your captions. You became the blueprint for the same culture that laughed at your drafts. That's the paradox of authenticity. It's only funny until it starts working. Now they scroll through your history like archaeologists, trying to find the origin of what they now worship. They replay your old words, dissect your past moves, trying to decode how you made simplicity look divine. They don't get it. You didn't learn this. You remembered it. You weren't competing for their approval. You were aligning with your purpose. That's why it looks effortless now, because mastery always looks like magic to the untrained. You've reached the point where imitation isn't flattery. It's confirmation. Confirmation that your frequency is undeniable. that your silence echoes louder than their applause. And while they scramble to keep up, you've already left orbit. You're operating in a wavelength they can't measure because you built it outside their spectrum. So let them eat. Let them recycle your style, remix your words, and rename your ideas. It doesn't matter, because imitation feeds the system, but originality bends it. You don't compete with copies when you're the concept. You just keep evolving while they stay trapped, studying your shadow. The same blueprint they mockingly dismissed now feeds their entire survival. That's the divine joke. The universe always makes sure irony tastes bitter on the tongue of the arrogant. They still talk, like they know you. Still throw your name around in circles they never earned access to. But the difference now, when they speak your name, there's hesitation. There's that small pause. The one that comes when people realize they're talking about someone who became untouchable. That pause is the sound of respect disguised as fear. You didn't explode. You expanded, quietly, like smoke through locked rooms, like a signal only decoded by those tuned into higher frequencies. You didn't clap back because you were too busy calculating the entire chessboard while they were still learning how the pawns move. They mocked what they couldn't comprehend. They mistook stillness for surrender. But you weren't still, you were loading, and now they see it. Every update, every post, every word that leaves your mouth now carries weight. The same crowd that called you delusional now refreshes their feeds waiting for your next move. They act like they discovered what you built. But you know, they're following a trail you left intentionally. You didn't just build your empire, you engineered your myth. They call it luck, because calling it discipline would expose their laziness. They call it coincidence because acknowledging precision would reveal how sloppy they've been. You're the uncomfortable truth they keep trying to deny. That time always sides with the one who stays consistent. That the quiet ones are never sleeping, they're refining. Every step you take now echoes like prophecy fulfilled. They scroll through your old failures, trying to rewrite your history, trying to remind you of who you used to be. But it doesn't work, because your growth is too loud now. The blueprint they once mocked has turned into the architecture of their own identity. Every trend that rises smells faintly of you. Every wave that moves the world started as your ripple. And the universe, oh, it has a twisted sense of humor. It made you the mirror they all avoid. Because when they look at you, they see what they could have been if they didn't waste time laughing. That's the real sting. It's not your success that hurts them. It's their reflection inside it. So now, when they say your name, it's not out of hate anymore. It's envy laced with awe, because deep down, they know. The one they mocked became the model. The one they doubted became the direction. And the blueprint? It wasn't made to prove them wrong. It was made to remind them who was right all along. It's funny, isn't it? They thought they were laughing at you, but they were laughing for you. Feeding your patience, stretching your hunger, refining your edge. Every joke became fuel. Every smirk was a spark. They were sharpening your focus without even realizing they were building the monster they'd later try to imitate. You didn't need their validation. You just needed their doubt, because doubt is pressure, and pressure creates diamonds. You just had to stay long enough in the fire. They mocked what they couldn't measure, because vision looks insane to people who only see with their eyes. You were painting galaxies, and they were arguing over crayons. You spoke ideas that required years to mature, and they laughed because they couldn't count that far ahead. They were stuck in now. You were already building next. That's why they didn't understand you. You were talking from tomorrow, and now, the same people who whispered behind your back are quoting you like scripture. They screenshot your words, they mimic your tone, they brand your blueprint with their logo and call it innovation. But the frequency, the energy, it doesn't lie. You can't fake resonance. You can steal ideas, but not essence. You can borrow language, but not presence. And that's what drives them insane. They can copy your work, but never your vibration, because your vibration wasn't built from luxury. It was built from loss, from staying up nights, wondering if it was all worth it, from being misunderstood until silence became your native tongue. That's the part they can't reverse engineer. They think greatness is a technique. It's not. It's a transformation. You learn to make your pain productive. You learn to weaponize patience. You learned that revenge is a waste of time when reality already avenges the consistent. So you stopped explaining yourself. You stopped proving your worth. You just built, and every brick you laid became a reminder that the blueprint never needed permission. It just needed execution. Now they watch your rise and try to act like they always saw it coming. But deep down, they remember their laughter. They remember the jokes. They remember underestimating the one who didn't fit their template. And the universe, it remembers too. It has a way of turning mockery into confession. Every you can't becomes we couldn't. Every you won't becomes we didn't. You're not their competitor anymore. You're their curriculum. They study your patterns not to surpass you, but to survive you. Because once the world adjusts to your design, everything else becomes outdated. You didn't win because they stopped laughing. You won because you stopped listening. At first you let it sting. You let the laughter echo until it stopped hurting. Then you realized something deeper. Noise fades, but patterns remain. And you started building patterns. Reactions became data. Hatred became direction. You weren't running from mockery. You were mining it. Every insult was an unintentional map leading you closer to mastery. They handed you the coordinates to your own evolution without even realizing it. See, real power doesn't announce itself. It collects quietly. It watches. It calibrates. While they mocked you for being too intense, too quiet, too different, you were studying the physics of energy. You were learning that every projection they threw at you was just reflection, a mirror showing you who they could never become. That's why you stopped chasing their validation. You understood they were just symptoms of the world you were outgrowing. And now it's poetic. The same people who told you to be realistic are now praying for miracles. The ones who said you were too obsessed are now addicted to your results. They tried to clown you because your pace threatened their comfort. You weren't moving fast. They were standing still. You didn't outshine them. They dimmed themselves, but they'll never admit that. Pride won't let them. So instead, they act like they were inspired. They rewrite history to make it look like they always believed. But energy never lies. The universe records everything. The tone of their words, the weight of their silence, the envy behind their fake encouragement. And when the energy flips, it flips hard. You didn't just rise. You exposed. You showed them that mockery is the prelude to mimicry. That once the clowning stops, the copying begins. Because when they can't kill your idea, they try to claim it. But that's the difference between you and them. You never built to be seen. You built to exist. That's why the foundation never cracks, no matter how loud the storm gets. Your work speaks in frequencies they'll never decode because they skipped the suffering required to understand it. That's why their copies collapse. They replicated the product, not the pain. Now every step you take burns a trail they can't walk without bleeding. Every move you make echoes with the gravity of discipline, something they can't fake. The same people who called you crazy now call you genius. But nothing changed except their awareness. You were always this. You just stopped, waiting for permission to show it. So don't get distracted by their applause. It's just recycled disbelief turned inside out. Keep walking, keep building, keep rewriting the script they swore you didn't belong in. Because the moment you stopped trying to prove them wrong, you started proving yourself inevitable. There's a strange kind of poetry in watching them imitate the same essence they once mocked, like echoes of a voice they can't recreate. They thought your power was a formula, that if they just studied your tone, your timing, your look, they could conjure your presence. But they missed the one thing that can't be replicated: origin. You weren't born from strategy. You were forged from experience. And experience doesn't download. It burns itself into your soul. You see, they never understood. Your silence wasn't weakness. It was calibration. You were syncing your frequency with the future. You didn't chase the algorithm. The algorithm adjusted to your rhythm. You didn't force attention. You magnetized it. And that's the part that unsettles them. You're not performing for power. You are power performing as calm. Now the same ones who doubted you are studying you like a case file. They're dissecting your timing, your aura, your moves, trying to find the code behind your composure. But the truth is, there's no code. It's divine chaos organized through discipline. It's the soul in alignment with something the world can't quantify. That's why they can't clone you. You're not a pattern. You're a phenomenon. They tried to predict your next move, and the moment they did, you changed the entire game. That's your secret weapon. Unpredictability birthed from mastery. You learned to play dimensions while they were still arguing over positions. You move in silence not because you're scared, but because noise is too slow for the pace of your intuition. You don't move with emotion. You move with awareness, and awareness is the final form of control. They don't get that your calm is dangerous. It's not apathy, it's accuracy. Every time they think they've cornered you, you dissolve into mist, reappearing where logic can't follow. They call it luck. They call it timing. But it's just you, aligning reality through focus so sharp, it bends the laws of coincidence. That's what eats at them. You operate like someone who's already read the end of the story. You don't panic because you wrote the plot twist. You don't react because you already rehearsed the moment years before it arrived. You're not responding to the world. You're reminding it what's inevitable. And now they whisper. They watch from fake accounts. They analyze your silence because something in them knows. They're no longer studying a person. They're studying a prophecy. You've become the example they can't surpass because you didn't just build a legacy. You became one. They don't realize yet. This isn't about revenge. It's revelation. They were never your competition. They were your confirmation. Proof that you were never meant to fit in because your blueprint was meant to redefine the design. They tried to mirror your rhythm, but mirrors crack under divine frequency. They copied the moves but forgot the state of mind that created them. You can steal style, but you can't replicate soul. Because yours wasn't built from aesthetics. It was carved from warfare. Mental, emotional, spiritual. Every lesson, every scar, every betrayal encoded itself into your essence until you stopped being a person and became a pattern. That's why they glitch when they try to imitate you. The system rejects their input because it knows the source code doesn't match. You operate on frequency. They operate on fear. You build in silence. They post for applause. You study shadows. They chase light. You've reached the point where imitation isn't flattery. It's exposure. It shows who lacks identity. It shows who never had the patience to cultivate their own flame. See, when you were down bad, nobody borrowed your struggle. Nobody quoted your pain. Nobody reposted your solitude. But the second your silence turned to structure, everyone wanted a piece. They want the finished version of what they mocked during the process. They want to eat from the table you built, forgetting that you starved to learn how to cook. Now look at them. Rehearsed confidence, borrowed wisdom, recycled originality, all orbiting your gravity. You became the sun in their system, and they don't even realize it. Every post, every new idea, every trend echoes your old wave. You were the signal, they were the static. But static never lasts long when the signal's this strong. The truth is, they never hated you. They hated the reflection of what they couldn't be. You reminded them of every dream they abandoned, every risk they avoided, every fire they let die out. That's why your growth triggers them, because it proves they had the same chance. They just didn't take it. You learned that creation is rebellion, that every masterpiece is born in defiance of comfort, that greatness demands exile before applause. You were willing to be misunderstood longer than they were willing to be consistent. And that's the difference between kings and crowds. So now, when they copy your blueprint, let them. Because even the best forger can't mimic the energy of authenticity. The universe doesn't reward copies, it recycles them. But you, your original matter, you're the design before the design. The prototype they'll keep chasing but never catch. And that's what drives them crazy. You don't chase relevance, relevance orbits you. You don't adapt to trends. Trends are reactions to your vibration. You were the lesson long before they found the language to describe it. Let them eat from the blueprint. It still feeds them crumbs. You're already working on the next universe. You stopped defending yourself when you realized truth doesn't argue. It simply reveals. Every attempt to discredit you only became a new advertisement for your name. Every whisper against you turned into free marketing for your purpose. Because when destiny is loud enough, even hate becomes a form of applause. You don't need to clap back. Your results echo louder than their gossip ever could. Now they're realizing it wasn't luck. It wasn't coincidence. It was inevitable. You were built to outlast illusions. The same mouths that mocked you now mimic your tone. The same eyes that rolled now study your every move. The same hands that pointed fingers are now raised for collaborations. The irony is divine. They laughed at the storm, not realizing you were the thunder. But here's the twist. You didn't need their validation. You needed their doubt, because doubt is the finest forge. It sharpens conviction like pressure sharpens a blade. And the reason your aura carries weight now is because you earned it in silence. Through seasons of being misunderstood, misjudged, underestimated, you were sculpting while they were scrolling. You were building while they were talking. They say time heals all wounds. But in your case, time exposed all lies. The longer they watched, the more undeniable you became. Your consistency turned mockery into memory. You became proof that truth ages like gold, untarnished, undeniable, eternal. And now, the same system that once ignored your presence bends its algorithms to amplify your essence. You're not viral, you're vital. You're not chasing waves. You are the current. And that's why even silence feels powerful when it comes from you. Because silence from someone who knows their worth isn't absence, it's strategy. You learned the art of restraint. That patience isn't weakness, it's preparation. You didn't react to the noise because noise fades. You built frequency, and frequency never dies. That's the real revenge. Evolution so complete that the past can't even recognize you anymore. Now when they speak your name, it doesn't sound like pity. It sounds like prophecy. You became the cautionary tale and the legend at once. Proof that mocking visionaries only makes history laugh later. You stopped defending yourself when you realized truth doesn't argue. It simply reveals. Every attempt to discredit you only became a new advertisement for your name. Every whisper against you turned into free marketing for your purpose. Because when destiny is loud enough, even hate becomes a form of applause. You don't need to clap back. Your results echo louder than their gossip ever could. Now they're realizing it wasn't luck. It wasn't coincidence. It was inevitable. You were built to outlast illusions. The same mouths that mocked you now mimic your tone. The same eyes that rolled now study your every move. The same hands that pointed fingers are now raised for collaborations. The irony is divine. They laughed at the storm, not realizing you were the thunder. But here's the twist. You didn't need their validation. You needed their doubt, because doubt is the finest forge. It sharpens conviction like pressure sharpens a blade. And the reason your aura carries weight now is because you earned it in silence. Through seasons of being misunderstood, misjudged, underestimated, you were sculpting while they were scrolling. You were building while they were talking. They say time heals all wounds. But in your case, time exposed all lies. The longer they watched, the more undeniable you became. Your consistency turned mockery into memory. You became proof that truth ages like gold, untarnished, undeniable, eternal. And now, the same system that once ignored your presence bends its algorithms to amplify your essence. You're not viral, you're vital. You're not chasing waves. You are the current. And that's why even silence feels powerful when it comes from you. Because silence from someone who knows their worth isn't absence, it's strategy. You learned the art of restraint. That patience isn't weakness, it's preparation. You didn't react to the noise because noise fades. You built frequency, and frequency never dies. That's the real revenge. Evolution so complete that the past can't even recognize you anymore. Now when they speak your name, it doesn't sound like pity. It sounds like prophecy. You became the cautionary tale and the legend at once. Proof that mocking visionaries only makes history laugh later. Whoa. Part 10. Final. The divine reversal of the characters. They used to think you were alone, but solitude is where gods learn the sound of their own power. You didn't need a crowd. You needed calibration. You were downloading upgrades in silence while they were busy performing for approval. You didn't lose people. You shed frequencies that couldn't survive your elevation. Now you walk through rooms differently. The same space that once tried to ignore you now rearranges itself when you enter. Conversations pause. Energy recalibrates. It's not arrogance. It's recognition. The universe knows when its chosen ones arrive. And here's the secret they'll never admit. Deep down, they respect you. Even the ones pretending not to. Because you embody the thing everyone craves but few achieve. Self-certainty. You don't hope you'll make it. You know you already did. The future is simply catching up. You stopped chasing opportunities because you became one. You stopped asking for tables because you started building kingdoms. You learned that when your energy matures, the world shifts from resisting you to rearranging around you. They thought they buried you, but they accidentally planted you. Now your growth blocks their sunlight. Your evolution exposes their stagnation. You became the quiet reminder that the universe doesn't reward mockery. It multiplies mastery. So let them talk. Let them copy. Let them study. Because none of it can rewrite the truth. You were the blueprint before they even knew there was a map. You are living proof that divine design doesn't need permission. It simply needs patience. They laughed when you whispered your dreams. But laughter fades, and echoes of your purpose still travel dimensions. You are not just ahead, you are beyond. And that's the ultimate plot twist. They spent years trying to figure you out, not realizing the game was designed by you from the beginning. The system didn't make you. The system studied you. The universe didn't test you. It introduced you. You are the exception they can't explain. The variable that breaks every equation. The silence that speaks louder than fame. The storm that learned how to smile. They used to mock your vision. Now they manifest your memories. Because the truth is simple. You weren't born to fit in their story. You were sent to end it and start your own.